Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We've got a lot to talk about this week. Disney Cruise Line announced their itineraries for 2015, and Adventures by Disney also announced their itineraries for 2015. We're going to talk about that. We also have Jason Garcia from the Orlando Sentinel in the studio, and he's going to talk about the executive in charge of MyMagic Plus leaving Disney, which I thought was a very interesting development. And he's also got some changes coming up to his career. We're going to talk to him a little bit about that. We also have our newest team member, JeniLynn Knopp, making her debut on the show this week. And a little later on, we're going to talk about Star Wars weekends. All that coming up. From the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida, this is the Diz Unplugged. This is the Diz Unplugged, episode 705 for the week of May 20th, 2014. The Diz Unplugged is brought to you by Dreams Unlimited Travel, experts at helping you plan the perfect Disney vacation. You can get up to a $1,000 shipboard credit from Dreams Unlimited on your next Disney Cruise Line vacation, and all for the same price you'd pay Disney. For a no-obligation quote on your next Disney vacation, visit them on the web at www.dreamsunlimitedtravel.com. Hey everybody, and welcome to the show, coming to you live from the Bob Varley Studio in Orlando, Florida. I'm your host, Pete Werner, joined at the table this week by my good friends Sean Thompson, JeniLynn Knopp, Jason Garcia from the Orlando Sentinel, and Julie Martin. Yay. And back in the production nook, our producer, Dustin West, along with associate producer Craig Williams, looking like he's
Grumpy cat.
in a trance.
No, Craig actually looks sort of happy.
How can you tell?
See that? It's a
slight uptick.
It's the Dayquil.
I thought you said you weren't sick.
I just taken precautions.
Preventative Dayquil.
Dayquil preventative, okay. I didn't know it was, but thanks for sharing that with us. All right, we have a lot to talk about this week. Just want to apologize to everybody that we did not have a show last week due to some technical issues. I had no power in the house, so kind of makes it tough to do a show. But it does make me think about getting a generator. But appreciate everybody understanding, and we're really happy to be back. I first want to start off by saying a lot of you are asking about the Bob Memorial Show, and we are just waiting for all of us to be in the same room at the same time. John and Kevin are back from their 3.5-year trip to the South Pacific. We were going to do it last week. Of course, we didn't do the show. This week, because of the release of the rest of 2015 for Disney Cruise Line and the release of 2015 for Adventures by Disney, John and Kevin are doing their day jobs, making sure that Dreams Unlimited is taking care of business for our clients. So next week, God willing, we will have our Bob Memorial Show. So stay tuned for that. But thank you, everybody, for understanding and for being interested in it. So we will have that for you next week. All right, in housekeeping, couple things we need to mention. If you are interested in attending the Hershey Park Diz Meet, Raise Money for Give Kids the World, that is June 13th through the 15th. We'll have links to information on the show notes page. Many members of the team are going to be there. We are going to be doing a live show from there, and all trying to raise money for Give Kids the World. So please, if you're in the area, come on out. We're going to have some fun in the park and have a great weekend of raising money and doing fun things together.
I'm sad that we have to miss it.
I know.
We don't have a choice, but it's one of the places I've always wanted to go.
Well,
hello.
Hopefully this will be the first of many in Hershey Park.
Bring a check.
I'm also really excited that a lot of you are signing up to go to Nova Scotia August 8th through the 10th for that meet. We talked about that last year and the year before. What an amazing time and place that experience was for us. And we're really encouraging folks to head up to Nova Scotia, show their support. And that's August 8th through the 10th. Again, links to that on the show notes page, disunplugged.com. And Mike Holland has just sent me something on Twitter saying he's going to send a generator.
Okay. Awesome. I'll take it.
Now, the last show that we did, Dustin did a segment on favorite. It was a bracket segment on the favorite attractions, and we were doing polls of our audience to see what their favorites were. Do you want to take it from there, Dustin?
Yeah, sure. So the interesting thing is, I put up a poll, a series of polls on our Facebook page, and it would outline the different rounds in the brackets. And so, for instance, we had one, if you're watching, that looks kind of like this: the best continuously loading rides at Walt Disney World. The interesting thing, when I was going through the results of the poll, is that we came to the exact same conclusion at the table that the folks did on Facebook with this one. So Haunted Mansion took the cake for the best slow ride or continuously moving ride. And the same was for the live stage shows. The Festival of the Lion King, and it worked out, the brackets worked out exactly the same as they did on the show. I don't know if it's because they were listening to us on the show and they felt the same way, or if this is like their true, honest opinion. But
they were afraid to disagree with you.
The only thing that was different was the thrill rides, and that's because we had a controversial moment on the show when we picked Dinosaur over Test Track, and which I don't get personally.
That was the most controversial thing that's ever happened on this show.
Yes, I think it was.
There's outrage.
And so that was the only difference, was they picked Test Track over that, and then Expedition Everest won out as the best thrill ride for the folks on Facebook, as it did here at the table last week.
So they all agree with you, basically?
Yes.
Okay. So there are the results of that.
Yes. Interesting.
You are correct.
That did end up being a very interesting segment.
It was a fun
I enjoyed
conversation.
watching it.
I
Yeah,
wish
it was a
I-
good conversation.
Wish I could have been there.
So, okay. Next, Diagon Alley. A lot happening with Diagon Alley over at Universal. And we were going to talk about it in the show this week, but Sean and Craig are going to be doing their the next edition of their Universal show. We'll actually be going out live shortly after this show.
Yep,
right?
it'll be today. We're going live, I think, sometime around 4?
Yep, right around
All right.
4-ish.
4-ish. I
Although-
sent an email.
That'll be up on YouTube on Friday.
Yes, it's released on Friday over YouTube, and the audio will go up on iTunes. Yeah.
So a lot of stuff happening over at really. I mean, that video they released of Gringotts
Yeah, I'm getting very excited.
those animatronics look amazing with the goblins. It looks really cool.
Yeah, so we have the a media event on June 17th through the 20th, so that'll be really exciting. To get to go there and experience it. I know some of us will be there. I do follow Jason on Twitter.
Well, they'll still send you media invites, I'm sure.
No, actually, they disinvited me.
Are you kidding?
No.
I read that, so I had to put a little.
Scandalous.
Yeah.
Universal's bitter.
Well, who knows what the actual reasons are. That's what I like to tell myself.
Wow. Okay. That's interesting, though. Did something just happen to my mic?
Yeah, something's weird.
Yeah, my mic's off. My mic is off.
Is it still
Is
showing?
it?
Okay, we're good.
Okay. All right. I don't know. They sound weird, but
But anyway, yeah. So we'll be doing a Universal show later today, and we'll be talking about Diagon Alley.
And also Khloe Kardashian.
Khloe Kardashian
Her
was there.
recent trip
Yeah.
to Universal.
We've been
Orlando.
writing jokes all night, so get ready for those Khloe Kardashian jokes.
I wouldn't know Khloe Kardashian if I tripped over her body.
I think you would.
No, I don't think I would.
No,
I don't follow. I just
you don't keep up with the Kardashians.
No, I do not. I cannot get past the amount of plastic surgery Bruce Jenner has had.
Oh gosh, it looks really bad.
He's a very nice lady. He does.
Okay, sorry.
All right. And also, I want to mention, as I do every week, our Disneyland show released every Thursday. This week's show, Michael Bowling talks about the construction of Disneyland and his series leading up to next year's 60th anniversary. And Nancy Johnson and Mary Jo Willie take a look at the new Pompeii exhibit at the California Science Center. Plus, the team discusses the surprise ticket increase, which everybody was kind of shocked at. A one-day park hopper at Disneyland is now $150 for a one-day park hopper. That is
Ouch.
pretty extraordinary. So they will be talking about that this Thursday. Again, disunplugged.com if you want to check out their show. So I want to take a moment and say hello to the newest member of the Diz team, Miss JeniLynn Knopp.
Hi, everybody.
She's so nervous.
I'm kind of nervous.
Which is surprising because, I mean, you have a lot of time on camera. Of course, many of you know Jenny was the co-host of Orlando Attractions magazine show.
Yes.
And she did that for about a year and a half, I believe.
Over a year and a half. Banks and I were, so far, the longest running hosts on the show.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It was a great experience.
And she did a great job. It's a wonderful show.
Yes.
And really thrilled, very, very fortunate to have you.
Yes.
Just tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and, so they can mock you openly.
Well, so I guess coming to the Diz is kind of, I feel like it's coming full circle for me because this is where my Disney online journey began. Back from when I lived in Virginia, wasn't a local in Orlando, but a Disney fan nevertheless. The Diz was the first place that I found online that could help me keep connected with Disney that I loved so much. From there, in the forums actually, I wrote a trip report called Confessions of a Neurotic Disney Mom. And from there, out of that was born a blog that I had for a while called thedisneydrivenlife.com, which is still up and running, aside from me. And moved to Florida to live near my dream, and then landed the position with Orlando Attractions magazine as host for their show. And now here I am, back full circle from where I started, and it in some ways it feels like a coming home.
And Jenny's going to be doing a lot here with us on the show, obviously, and some other projects that we have coming up, and be doing some content for us on the blog and on the Diz. So we're really, really happy to have you.
I'm thrilled.
Welcome to the Diz.
Thank you.
And a lot of people are envious.
I'm kind of jealous of myself. Oh, should I mention I have children?
Oh, by the way.
By the way, I'm a mom. And I have 3 beautiful children, a 14-year-old daughter, a 12-year-old son, and a 9-year-old daughter. And, raising them right in the Disney parks.
That's right.
Thank you for having 3 children.
Oh.
Maybe that'll help me.
Did I step in something?
Oh, Lord.
Look, JeniLynn can do it. We'll talk later.
Hold on a second. Do you hear that noise? That's Corey chewing another Xanax. But welcome, JeniLynn. Also want to take a few minutes to talk to our good friend Jason Garcia, who announced last week that he's going to be leaving the Orlando Sentinel, heading over to Florida Trends magazine. And those of us who have followed Jason and his work at the Orlando Sentinel are sad to see him go, genuinely.
Oh, thanks very much.
I've always had a great respect for the work you've done
Appreciate it.
with the Sentinel, and how fair you are in your reporting. And I mentioned this to you privately, but it's kind of rare, getting more rare, to find journalists that aren't slanted and selling an agenda, and actually just telling us what's really going on and getting stories out there. One of which you broke yesterday. We're going to talk about the executive from in charge of MyMagic Plus
Right.
leaving Disney. Very interesting development. But talk about your upcoming move.
Yeah, I've taken a job with a magazine. It's called Florida Trend. It's a statewide business news magazine, so it's published by the same company that publishes the Tampa Bay Times newspaper. So for me, I'll be writing probably a lot more about state politics, which is what I used to do before I started covering Disney, and sort of I got into Disney, covering Disney, because I was sort of interested in how much influence it had on state politics. So it's kind of a never-ending circle for me, I guess.
Yeah, the two aren't that different, are
Right.
they?
And I'll still occasionally write about Disney and the theme parks, from business news and stuff. But it'll obviously be far more infrequently, as it's a monthly magazine, not a daily newspaper. So,
Well, just as a political junkie myself, I look forward to that. I do enjoy your political reporting as well.
Oh, thanks very much.
And especially because we just have a very interesting couple of years coming up in
Right,
Florida
yeah.
politically.
Yeah.
It's already getting interesting with the governor's race, and of course, we always play such a sometimes embarrassing role in national politics coming up on a presidential election. So you're gonna have some fun.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's I really enjoy covering the theme parks, and Disney can be a grind to cover, but it's a lot of fun. But state politics is it has always been probably my passion. So being able to cover that sort of intersection of business and politics is something I'm really excited about.
Maybe we'll see him on CNN.
Yeah, maybe.
All right. Well, welcome, Jason. Glad to have you here. All right. Lastly, in housekeeping, we have our poll results from our last show. We asked the question, how important is free dining to you when booking your Disney vacation? And we asked this because invariably there is a yearly ritual on Disboards of people, otherwise normal, well-adjusted people, going insane over free dining. And so I really just wanted to put a poll out there to see, how important is this really? And I was surprised. I got to be honest. I was surprised with 48% of you saying that free dining was not important at all. And I was stunned by that. And then 39% of you saying it was somewhat important, that you'd like it, but it's not going to make or break your decision to go on a Disney vacation. Only 13% of you said no free dining equals no Disney trip. And I'm stunned by that.
I would say it seems a little shocking to me as well. But then on the other hand, when I didn't live here, it never had any influence over my vacationing either. But you would think that it would.
I'll say this, that 13% is a very loud and grumpy group of people that post on social media.
It is. I was surprised by that, and I look at those numbers. So when you look at the people who are, it's not make or break for them. That's 87% of those people, and we had 1,600 responses to this. So this was a pretty decent sample. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if Disney knows that, or did we just tell them? If free dining doesn't show up next year.
No more free dining.
You can blame us, but because I think that's something Disney would love to have to not do. But I think the reason they do it when they do it is they need to fill that September frame. Because historically, once the kids go back to school, it's all, it's pretty dead. It was always pretty dead. Not anymore, thanks to free dining.
Do you think maybe that the results of that are not skewed, but you're asking people that are diehard Disney fans, and Disney is a do or die thing for them. So free dining or no free dining, they're coming. But maybe it's more of an issue for the average person in America who isn't a diehard Disney fan.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Could very well be it.
They got to be doing it for some reason. I don't think they would do it year after year after year if they weren't seeing results from that.
Well, they're definitely seeing the results.
Okay.
Disney, given the choice between discounting and not, prefers to not discount. I can remember after 9/11, when this entire town was dead, having a conversation with somebody at Disney, getting into an argument with someone at Disney about saying, look, you guys need to put something out there to spur bookings. And it was all about rate integrity. That was the buzzword going through Walt Disney Travel, rate integrity, that if we discount it once, we've got to discount it all the time. And we don't want to do that. And it turned out that he was actually right about that in doing the free dining discount, for a couple of years,
people look for that every year.
They expect it now.
Yeah.
And if Disney did decide to pull it, there would be. There would certainly be a lot of upset people.
People would be rather vocal about it.
But you make a good point about the casual vacationer versus the Disney
the do or die Disney vacationer.
But those are the influencers.
Yeah.
Those are the influencers, which in any marketing class will tell you that the influencers are the people you've got to pay attention to, because they are the ones on social media.
Yes.
They are the ones on discussion boards. They are the ones out there making the noise, and the casual vacationer will come across that at some point. Mm-hmm. So, interesting result coming from our group, and we will have next week's poll question for you coming up at the end of the show. And with that, we're going to go into the news. The first thing we're going to talk about are the new itineraries for Disney Cruise Line and Adventures by Disney for 2015. The highlights here, Disney Cruise Line, this has been rumored for a while now and confirmed that there will be 2 Hawaiian cruises. One leaving from Vancouver, going to Hawaii, doing some island hopping, Hilo, Kauai, Maui, and Oahu. And the second cruise going from Hawaii back to Vancouver.
That's the sad one, I think.
Yeah,
It'd be sad
Saddest cruise
to
on Earth.
have fun in Hawaii and then have a 5-day journey on a ship to get back to Canada. I love Vancouver, though. But
Sean at www.info.com is the email address to send your complaints to. I love Canada, and Vancouver's a gorgeous city.
oh, it's beautiful. No, I'm just saying you're in Hawaii for 4
Yeah.
days or 3 days.
I don't think that it's odd because Vancouver is like a bad city or something. I just think it's odd for them to be departing out of
The tropical destination.
Well, just out of Vancouver as opposed to the port of Los Angeles or
Okay,
San
You
Diego.
have to stop at a foreign country if you're going to sail between Hawaii and the U.S.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Because the last
Right.
ones, I forgot about that.
Look
You're
at
absolutely
Sherlock
right.
sitting across the table from me over there.
Man knows his stuff. That's right. Because the last time they did Hawaii, they stopped in Mexico.
Yep.
On
Gotta
the way
do
out.
that.
That's absolutely right.
That's why you don't see very many cruises between the mainland and Hawaii. It's very complicated to pull off in terms of the amount of time you have to spend sailing. So
Well, that's it. Yeah, that's the other part. I mean, I'm going to be doing the Norwegian Pride of America in July,
Right.
and that one's all U.S.
Right.
And as a result, it has no casino on that ship, which is a double-edged sword for me. I mean,
and it's all U.S. staff too, then, right?
It's all U.S. staff.
Yeah,
yep.
it's not going to be a very profitable cruise ship.
It apparently it is for Norwegian.
Really?
I mean, they've been running it for years,
Wow.
and it's a very, and the prices are reasonable. It's a little bit higher than I think what you'd see coming out of most other ports in the U.S., but for that very reason, because they have to pay real wages.
Right.
But it is a U.S. flagged ship, and but they overnight in Maui, they overnight in Kauai, or they overnight in Maui and Kauai, which is really, really cool, and so I'm really excited about that. But I think Disney's going to be doing some overnight stays on these as well. Disney also going out of Galveston again because they're apparently gluttons for punishment. I don't know. 4, 6, and 7 night sailings, November and December of 2015, going out of Galveston. Galveston was a complete bust for them, and they couldn't understand why. I mean, we used to get these questions from them all the time. We don't understand why people aren't going out of Galveston. It's because the price you're charging for those sailings, these people could fly to Orlando, spend a few days in the theme park, and get on the ship, in Port Canaveral, basically do the same itinerary. And it was the same as if they just drove to Galveston. The prices were absurd. And I didn't have time to look up pricing on these, but I don't think anybody's going to be saying, ooh, these are really cheap cruises. The other big one, in October of 2015, departures out of San Diego going to Baja. And these are like little 4 and 5 night sailings. And I have to be honest, for all the anticipation about the releasing the rest of 2015, I'm disappointed. Nothing here really gets me excited. Like I said, a Hawaii cruise. I'll see how I feel after I come back from doing Norwegian to go see Hawaii. But I want, if I go to Hawaii, I want to see Hawaii. I don't want to spend 5 days at sea. And I think that's roughly 4 or 5 days is what they're going to be. It's of the 10 days. Is what you're doing.
It's basically going to be a huge tease of Hawaii. You're not really going to get to experience if you fly there, like you've been, like we've been.
Right.
It's great to immerse yourself because it's just you feel like you're in another country. It does not feel like the United States, even though they're Americans too. It does not feel like that at all to me.
Right. No, it's a very distinct culture.
Yeah.
A wonderful culture.
I love being called Auntie all the time by everyone.
Now, Adventures by Disney also released today their 2015 itineraries, and the big ones here a 12-day, 11-night trip that combines Ecuador, the Amazon, and the Galapagos Islands.
Oh.
These are what they're calling their bucket list trips. Is their new thing with Adventures by Disney, and it sounds amazing.
You need lots of shots.
And it sounds like an awful lot of activity. I know I looked at the Galapagos the Galapagos trip at one point, and the amount of activity involved. I'm like, I'll be dead. They'll need to be bringing a defibrillator to revive me. But I know some people are very excited about that. Then they're doing these long weekend trips, these 4-day, 3-night deals. One is San Francisco and the Napa Valley, which sounds pretty cool. The other one is New York City, which a lot of people have been asking for. The cool thing about the San Francisco trip is that one of the things it includes is a tour of Lucasfilm. And
That's kind of a big deal.
that's kind of a big deal. These are tours. This is kind of like the Imagineering tour that is done in the Backstage Magic.
Yeah.
Because only Disney can provide this. They don't do tours of Lucasfilm, ever. And so this is a big deal.
Well, now that they own it, they can get in and whenever they
it's
want.
So that I'm very excited about. One of the things that jumped out at me about the New York trip, forgive me, the walking tour of Harlem. And one of our repeat guests made the comment of, are the muggings free? Now, I realize that's an easy joke to make because of Harlem's reputation. There is a lot of cool stuff in Harlem, though. A lot of culture in Harlem.
A lot of history.
And a lot of history, exactly. And I'm
lot
sure
of
Disney's not
globetrotting.
going to take people anywhere that isn't.
They took people to friggin' Egypt. Harlem can't be worse than Egypt.
Yeah, but
That's actually a valid point. I feel that's valid.
so I don't think they're going to take people anywhere that they're going to get hurt. But the New York trip not appealing to me. I guess because also I'm from that part of the country, and New York is like a second home to me. So I don't.
That appeals to me. I've only been once.
I think for a lot of people that might appeal to them. They were doing these special New York departures for DVC members for a while. And a lot of people were clamoring, open this up to everybody, open this up to everybody. And so now they have. So this is the big news for 2015 coming out of Adventures by Disney.
All of those sound appealing to me, and I will volunteer for.
I was going to say, this is.
I'll be happy to go spend time with the turtles in the Galapagos Islands. We'll have a good time.
I want to be on the first San Francisco departure next year.
What's the price point on these? Are they affordable for long weekends, or are they pretty expensive?
You're looking at about between $6,000 and $7,000 a person on the Galapagos.
Okay, sure, yeah.
And you're looking about $2,300 to $2,700 a person on these long weekend trips. So they're expensive.
Very.
It's 2 weeks in Ireland on your own.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, though, we've made this point that you have experiences on these ABD trips you just don't get anywhere
Corey's
else.
a really good tour guide. I'm hiring him.
And
But he's free.
Yes.
and the quality of the trip. We deal with this every time we do one of our exclusive departures with ABD. People are hemming and hawing about the price. They come back, and 201, they all say, worth every penny. This is more than just having someone to take you around and say, oh, look at this, oh, look at that. These guides, these experiences are incredible, and there's a lot of things that are done that you just can't do anywhere else. You take a look at the Backstage Magic tour. Getting that tour of Imagineering, can't get it anywhere else. Getting the tour of the Disney Studios in Burbank, can't get it anywhere else. Getting up into Walt's apartment at Disneyland, can't get it anywhere else. So these are experiences, and that's what kind of sets them apart. They use that Disney name to kind of open doors that
Sure.
otherwise are closed to people. And I have, I've been on 13 or 14 ABDs now, and I can tell you, and we pay full price for these. We get our commission back, but we're not being comped. I've never been comped. That's not true. My first ABD, my Australia trip was comped. Every other one I paid for, and would absolutely gladly plunk down my money on these trips. So I'm not selling anything that I don't do myself and that I wouldn't stand by myself. Like I said, for me, New York doesn't hold a lot of interest because I'm from there. Listen to me, look at me. But San Francisco, that appeals to me. That weekender trip, that sounds really fun. It's expensive for 4 days, 3 nights, no question. But I get to go to Lucasfilm.
That would be awesome.
I'll give you the $2,700 just for that.
Yeah, that's pretty serious.
So that's pretty cool. And we are going to be announcing next week, I believe, we'll be announcing hopefully, our exclusive departures, the DIS exclusive departures for ABD. I know John and Kevin have been working on some cool stuff, so we'll have that for you next week. Next thing I want to talk about in the news, we're going to go over to Mr. Garcia here, the man in charge of MyMagic Plus, leaving Disney. And I know he's saying it's to go spread his love of technology to other companies, but...
Well, he's not saying anything. That's what Disney is saying he's saying.
I'm not buying that. I personally am not buying that. I don't think you have if you have a quote-unquote successful launch of something like MyMagic Plus, you don't leave the company midway through its rollout. So, I mean, we've been hearing the rumors that it was supposed to be $1 billion initiative, and now the rumors are saying it's closer to $2 billion.
Right.
And I know that in their last earnings report, Disney's trying to put a positive spin on it, saying they're happy with the behavior they're seeing with MyMagic Plus. But what do you think? What do you think of this whole?
Well, in terms of the guy's name is Nick Franklin, who sort of essentially functioned as the CEO of this project for the last 5 years or so. In terms of whether or not it was voluntary, I haven't been able to talk to him, and I don't know anyone who has spoken to him that has said he said it was not voluntary or was voluntary. So get that out of the mind. But one sort of person made this point to me that it would seem unusual to leave without another job lined up, right after the product had launched and with the stock up at above $80 a share right now. So it seemed unusual, but that's speculation, right? I mean, Disney says
that's the fun part.
It's voluntary, but who knows? It seems like unusual timing to me, but I don't have anything concrete that says he was forced out. In terms of the launch issues. The budget is a really tough thing to pin down because there's no sort of publicly available numbers about that. The number that Disney has sort of tacitly endorsed is around $1 billion, is what they say. And I think a number that surfaced in the New York Times was $800 million, and that had all the hallmarks of a Disney background number, like, hey, use this, but don't attribute it to us.
Right.
So I think that's sort of Disney's official number. The analysts I talk to now all sort of roundly agree that it's probably above $1 billion somewhere. I had some sources initially that put it between $1 and $1.5 billion, and those were some former Disney executives who had been involved in the project before they'd left. That was a number of years ago, and Disney has always aggressively pushed back against that, saying that's too high. That's a long time ago. So I think I'm comfortable saying it's over $1 billion probably now. I think you see on some of the online boards $2 billion or more.
Yeah, we hear that.
It's certainly possible. I haven't seen anything that's substantiated. It doesn't mean it's true, or it doesn't mean it's not true. But
still speculation.
Right. I think there's a lot of that. Now, there's obviously a lot of plugged-in people out there, so it could very well be informed speculation. But
true.
The number I've sort of settled in the paper is more than $1 billion attributed to analysts at this point.
Well, and for me, in spite of some of the comments online about FastPass Plus and my Disney experience and the issues that it's had, I felt that they've done a really responsible job with the rollout of this, and that I can understand, just having worked in the technology industry for many years. I know how this stuff goes. I mean, obviously nothing on that scale, but I've worked for large companies that have rolled out major initiatives, and you go in with your best guess and your best idea, but things always happen. And I feel that Disney's been really responsible in how they've rolled this out. I've also noticed that since they announced that they would be adding additional fast passes after your 3 were up, that they made them available to off-site guests. A lot of the clamor on the boards, on DIS boards anyway, died down. We use a piece of software that allows us to kind of see what topics are trending
Yeah.
on the boards. And for months, FastPass Plus was just the thing. I mean, it was just by far the biggest topic, and most of it was negative. After Tom Stagg's announcement in April that they were changing, adding some things and making some changes based on feedback, progressively we've seen that kind of get calmed down. Right. So I think people are getting happier with it, and I think they're doing it right. They're listening to the feedback, and they're making adjustments where they can. Park hopping, I'm sure, is going to be, even though you can now get your fourth Fast Pass at another park, I think being able to set your Fast Passes up in multiple parks is going to be coming next. Right. Haven't heard that officially, but they're listening, and that
seems like a natural progression.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just a matter of them making sure that at each step of this, they've got this technology down before they move on to the next step, which is not fast enough for Disney fans. But when you're investing, let's just say $1 billion. When you're investing $1 billion, that's what you do.
Right.
If you're going to be responsible about it.
Now, one thing about it is one thing that's unquestionable is it's way behind schedule, right? Disney's been very careful not to put too many concrete timelines on it as it's gone through, but there was an internal document that I was given that I was able to authenticate that showed at one point they were hoping to get this stuff rolled out the last few months to begin rolling out the FastPass Plus in the first few months or last few months of 2011, right?
Wow.
And they didn't acknowledge it until they didn't even publicly acknowledge it until the beginning of 2013. And then all through 2013, they said later this year it'll be done. And then, it was, I think, March 2014 when they could say it's launched. So it certainly has fallen way behind schedule, but sort of like you say, it's an enormous undertaking, and it's incredibly complex what they're trying to do. It's sort of, you're basically rewiring a 40-year-old theme park.
Yeah.
It is changing like everything in the parks. I mean, just even walking around as a local now, day to day, the parks, the flow of it is very different.
It is.
Very different. I'm having a hard time adjusting. There's moments where I hate fake FastPass Plus. I hate it because I'm not used to it. I haven't made the adjustment of how it's going to have to be. You're going to see a lot more of this walking around the parks. Everybody checking their phone every 10 minutes to see if they can get a fast pass finally for the next ride.
The zombie horde with their smartphones is definitely increased.
It's going to have to be that way. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's.
How else do you check?
How else are you going to get on these rides now? The rides that you used to be able to just walk on, you can't walk on them anymore. The Wedway People Mover has a line now.
Very rarely. I mean,
well, I've been there a couple times, and I have to wait not long because it's a continually loading line. But normally you could just walk on it. Pirates of the Caribbean. Last couple times I've been to the parks in the last few weeks, I'm waiting 20 minutes, 30 minutes, which is not normal for a local anyway. So I'm attributing this to FastPass Plus. Sometimes I hate it, but on the other hand, when it's like, I kind of want to get on Test Track, you can never get on Test Track, and then you're like, ooh, FastPass, got it, it's mine, and then you can get on Test Track.
Not having to be at Soarin' at 9 o'clock in the morning to get on the ride, to get a Fast Pass.
Yeah, there's definitely the pros and cons, but it is definitely changing how that park flows.
And I think it's going to continue to as time progresses. But I've said multiple times, I'm really happy with it. I mean, as a local, I'm very happy with it. In that, when we do go with the family into the parks, being able to go ahead and get some fast passes and make our dining reservations and kind of know what we're going to do, go to the ride. In between, we'll do a standby for something else and do some shopping, whatever. It just makes it a very stress-free day, and you're just kind of going. But again, I'm a local, so
right.
Is it stress-free? Like you've got to obviously adhere to that schedule for the most part. I mean, you can change it, but I don't know how easy is it to change it in terms
very easy.
You're a day of. So if you're on, say, Soarin', you managed to get your Fast Pass for 2 o'clock, and then you weren't going to be there, so you wanted 4 o'clock. Will you be able to do that day of?
Well, you can. Assuming it's available,
right,
chances are for that attraction, it's not going to be.
Yeah, it'll be.
So I wonder how much flexibility there is on those sort of the key pinch points that you really want it for.
Well, I think for the really e-ticket attractions, it's definitely going to be more difficult. But being able to do it for, I think with the exception maybe of Soarin', I've been able to do it with virtually everything else.
I will say one thing that's nice about it. It's nice to be able to get a fast pass without having to walk to the other side of the park to actually get it. You know, if you're in one location but you want a fast pass for an attraction that's way over on the
other
opposite
side.
end of where you're at, you know, before you have to walk there and then you walk back to where you were, it just is a lot of walking. Now that does save time that way. So that's a good point that I feel.
It is. It is. I think it definitely has its pros and cons, but so I'm interested if we'll hear anything else about
At
this
some
guy's
point,
departure.
they're going to have to explain to analysts how it's actually doing financially, just because it's it's an enormous capital investment, whatever the number is. Like I say, I use more than $1 billion. They've always prided themselves on meeting really sort of aggressive returns on investment. They always say double-digit returns. So, and they have not yet begun to say whether or not they're starting to see those things. They've started to talk about how it's changing behavior, but I think some of the frustration you see in a few from analysts in a few places are that there's been no sort of articulation yet about whether or not it's working financially. And it's such a big project. They're gonna have to answer that at some point.
Yeah,
and it might. It'll take a long time, but.
I'm interested to see.
By contrast, California Adventure, the day it opened, they were immediately talking about how quickly they were making their money back on that, right? So,
Exactly. Yeah. So if Disney's not touting it, there's a reason.
Right.
We're happy with the behavior we're seeing. I thought that was a very telling comment. But all right, one last thing: the 24-hour Rock Your Disney Side event is this Friday, and I know many members of the Diz team are going to be in the parks, myself included. No?
Oh, I will be.
He's looking at me.
I was looking at Julie.
Oh, yeah.
Of course not. I'm a permanent babysitter. Not that I'm complaining, but it'd be nice to have one that was not me.
Welcome to motherhood.
Yeah, right. But I've never done this before. Now, Sean, did you do it last year?
No, we couldn't do it last year, but I did it the year before for the leap year day.
So, what attractions are open?
A good majority of them. I think a few of them are closed.
They close it times depending on when they have to go down for maintenance. So I know, from the 3:00 a.m. to 5:00 a.m. period, Space Mountain went down, so everyone was getting on the TTA so they could continuously see it with the lights on in there. But they usually let you know a couple hours ahead of time. They'll post something outside
Usually
of it.
Big Thunder and Splash were open pretty late. Splash had to close, obviously, to do its morning rituals and stuff, to get the water and whatever.
It's morning constitutional.
It's daily constitutional, yeah. But no, there's a good amount of rides, and I liked it. I enjoyed it. I wasn't there for the full thing. I actually had to work during the day the last time I did it, so I was there from 6 to probably 10 a.m. Went and worked, then came back at 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So...
Did you see people sleeping?
Oh, yeah. It looks like homeless people in the park.
And everybody had
curious.
everybody, at least on the leap year one, was wearing PJs. Now for this one, they want everybody to wear festive costumes and stuff. But
Yeah.
that was the big thing on the leap year one, was everyone was in their pajamas.
I'm not wearing a costume.
Okay.
Just
I bet
saying.
JeniLynn will.
What's that?
I bet JeniLynn will.
I do have a Maleficent costume, but I heard that the forecast is for 95 degrees, so I may
Ooh.
be
It's
gonna be
passing
warm.
on the Maleficent.
Would you like to borrow my
costume.
Tiger Lily costume?
Yes, that's a
fit you.
yes.
So I'm very excited about it because
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to. Every time they've been doing it, I've been out of town. So
It's hard to do the full 24 hours. I've actually never done one for the full 24 hours.
I wouldn't be able to.
think
I don't know if I'm going to be able to do
I'd go
that.
all Columbine on everyone in there if I was there
Oh,
for
boy.
24 hours.
Oh, we're doing that
now. But it's fun to go for a little while. I will say, if you have a specific time that you're wanting to be there, plan on getting there way beforehand. Because last year, it took me an hour and 45 minutes to park. It was a really long line
Well,
just to get in the parking lot.
I was smart. I have a room at the Contemporary.
The parking lots get ridiculously crazy, specifically at 10 to midnight, because that's when all the other parks are already closing.
Yes.
So everyone starts showing up then.
That was
for
when
it,
I tried to
and
park it because I was trying to get there in the evening, and it was ridiculous.
No, I wanted a room at the Contemporary. I wanted a room at least on the monorail loop, but Contemporary
To
preferably.
get there easy, yeah.
So I'm very happy about that. And
I know we have a couple RAPIDFIREs about this, but I just wanted to mention they're doing a couple different things. At least I don't think they did this last year. You might be able to tell me. But in Tomorrowland, from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m., they're going to have screenings of The Incredibles.
Awesome.
I think that's smart to play movies and just have.
They did that for last year. They played Monsters, the new Monsters movie in Tomorrowland.
Oh, okay.
Because the theme was Monstrous Summer.
Sure.
And they had just come out with the new Monsters movie. So they played that in Tomorrowland, and everybody just kind of sat down and hung out and watched Monsters.
That'd be kind of cool to watch a Disney movie
Yeah,
in the Magic Kingdom
it
like
would
that.
be.
That's kind of cool. So I'm really excited about it. So if any of you are in the park, look for us. We'll be somewhere. We're not doing anything formal or official, but really excited about it.
We'll also be talking about it on Fox tonight.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I almost forgot to mention JeniLynn's going to be on Fox 35 here in Orlando.
Yep, during the 5 o'clock hour, talking about rocking your Disney side for the 24-hour party. So if you're local, tune in.
Excellent. Excellent. All right. That'll do it for the news. We're going to move on to last time we did a Where in the World photo that stumped everybody. Justin, did anybody get this right on Facebook?
Last time I checked, and that's the picture if you're watching, last time I checked, it was nobody had gotten it, and that was over 100 responses. I don't know what the final tally was on the amount of responses, but everyone thought that this photo was from either the Grand Floridian or France and Epcot, something like that. Some people did get the fact that it was a ceiling, and I'm sure somebody ended up getting it right on Facebook. I just haven't checked in a couple days.
Where was it?
Well, we shall reveal it. It is the ceiling for the Rose and Crown pub.
I knew it was a ceiling, but I didn't know where.
Yeah. So that's where
It was
that
a
is.
tough one.
Yeah. Maybe next time we won't do them so tricky, because very few, if any.
That was a tough one. And we've decided to revert back to caption this for this week. For those listening, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/DizUnplugged, and check out our caption this photo for this week. This was taken on Castaway Cay, and it shows a bunch of the Disney characters on a big golf cart and
being shipped off to duty.
This was just, I happened to be standing in the right place at the right time, and there was this cart full of characters. And they were playing with each other and having a good old time. It was really funny. But that's our caption this for this week. Go out to our Facebook page and,
Caption it.
Caption it. I just know the reason I hesitated is I forgot to mention the Mark Pennington was the winner this past week of our random draw for the poll.
Okay.
And Mark, we just need your information. I sent you a message on Facebook. And every week with our poll, we draw one name at random for $50 to win a $50 Disney gift card. So congratulations, Mark, on that. And now we will move on to Rapid Fire. And Dustin, we're going to start with you.
Yes. My Rapid Fire is all about the 2014 Food and Wine Festival coming up this fall. And they have released new information on the marketplace and events at the Food and Wine Festival, including, just a moment, including a Patagonia marketplace, which combines the flavors of Argentina and Chile, which sounds pretty good. That'll probably be over by Mexico, because they always try to put them like in similar countries to where they are, and I sometimes feel that that's offensive.
Yeah, because Argentina is right next to Mexico.
Yeah, right.
Somebody did not pass geography. Sorry, Dustin, I couldn't resist.
Oh no, I agree with you. That was my whole point. Is I agree with you on that. They're taking away the Florida local marketplace and renaming it the Farm Fresh Marketplace, which has they're going to have a bacon and eggs dish with applewood smoked pepper coated bacon, sweet corn, potatoes, hollandaise, and pickled jalapenos. That sounds fantastic.
You lost me at jalapenos. You were fine up until the jalapenos.
Oh man. They're also having Brazil will be there, and then they're going to have
The entire nation.
Yes.
They're always
they
here
do come all at
anyway.
once.
Yes, and I suppose the entire nation in celebration of the World Cup, Brazil, the country, will be in food and wine. Man, this is going worse than I thought it would. They're also having, of course, new events and speaker series. Celebrity chefs will be in attendance. Food for Thought, a celebrity cookbook event on Friday mornings, and a boot camp series, an interactive challenge event, will be part of the schedule. You can go to wdwinfo.com and find. We'll have links
We'll have
for
links in the show notes
page to all our information on this year's Food and Wine Festival. Well, that's my rapid fire, and it was fun.
Moving on.
All right, thank you, Dustin. Sean.
All right, so mine kind of goes in with our last news story, but it's some of the food that you can get at Magic Kingdom during the 24-hour day on May 23rd. I will say this, though, before I read some of the stuff. It's such a small selection compared to what Disneyland is doing. People were really noticing. They really rolled out the red carpet for the Disneyland and California Adventure menus. This is kind of measly, but, I mean, it's still going to be kind of fun.
Measly.
At Sleepy Hollow, there's a poisoned apple waffle sundae. Waffles with stewed apple topping and whipped cream. The lunching pad will have an Olaf souvenir cup, which they have anyway. Friar's Nook will also have that Olaf cup. There's 3 special cupcakes that you can get at Main Street Bakery. A Maleficent cupcake, a Frozen-themed one with Anna on it, and then an Olaf carrot cupcake where it's like a blob of frosting and it looks like Olaf's
With
face.
his nose, yeah.
The Main Street, that was Main Street Bakery. Plaza Ice Cream Parlor will have Mickey's Kitchen Sink Sundae, which they've started to add at Magic Kingdom. And then Storybook Treats will have poisoned apple shortcake sundae, ice cream yellow cake, stewed apple topping, and whipped cream. And then the big thing they're really kind of touting is the 2 varieties of cotton candy they'll have. A pink one for heroes, and then a blue cotton candy for villains.
So cotton candy.
It's cotton candy.
It's the same cotton candy they sell.
Right.
Let's just.
It's
Yeah.
pink and blue.
Just with really cute stickers on the back.
There are stickers, yes.
File that under they'll buy anything.
That is exactly what it is for $8
And so
a
I
bag.
have to know, the poison apple themed ones, the poison comes on the side, correct?
Yes, you can. It's optional. Yeah. But I think the picture on the slide is actually the waffle with the apple.
Little hemlock never killed anyone.
So we'll try some of that stuff, but I was hoping for a bigger, kind of more expanded specialty menu. But
Yeah, I was kind of surprised.
yeah.
But all right, thank you, Sean. Gregory.
So, for some reason, Disney's deciding to have a Snapchat account. If you don't know what Snapchat is, it's this fun app that you can get on your smartphone that kids use to send naked pictures of each other.
I'm very confused right now.
Yeah, what is that about?
I thought Snapchat was for teenagers.
Not
for Disney.
teenagers are sending naked pictures of each other on because the pictures only last for
10 seconds.
Yeah, you
Then
can
they
choose.
they self-destruct. It's kind
Well,
of like Mission Impossible.
But as it turns out, they don't. Snapchat's been
They've been
not forthcoming about how long they're actually keeping those photos. That's a big thing right now in the tech blogosphere. Is people are freaking out that basically Snapchat's been lying.
They're
is
just
what the
saving them all in their
accusation
database.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, but the end user can't see them after 10 seconds. But you're saying they're saving
Right,
them on
but
their
Snapchat
Yeah,
is-
but the
In
Snapchat
cyberspace.
people are over there going, hey, look at that chick.
The archives of
Snapchat has been saying that all along that they're purging these photos, and what people are saying now is that in fact they're not. So
Well, now we
And
can
so
find
over
pictures
half of
Goofy.
America is feeling really awkward right now.
yeah.
And now you can see pictures.
But you know,
of Goofy on
here's the
Snapchat.
thing: if you're stupid enough to do that, I got no
Yeah.
pity for you. Okay, if you're going to do that online,
Well, what
what do you
is
think's going to happen?
what is Disney doing with it?
Same thing.
It's goofy.
We get to see Maleficent under the gown. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, wow, this just went off the rails. So what are they doing with Goofy on this? He's just
Well, Goofy's teaching people how to Snapchat in case they don't know, but during the 24-hour event, you're supposed to, friend Walt Disney World and Disneyland, whatever park you're going to be at, and you're going to be able to send pictures to them, and I guess they'll send pictures back to you, too. I don't...
Is this kind of along the vein of what we've been seeing lately with Disney kind of being internet tone deaf
It's just dumb.
in some of the choices they're making?
Well, this is part of, their whole Rock Your Disney side. That's their whole social media new campaign. So they've been doing Vine a lot. They've been doing a lot of Twitter and Facebook stuff, and now they're using Snapchat. I would just hate to be the intern that has to sit there and
Yes.
monitor the incoming messages because it's going to be bad, I think.
Yeah, Well, I think during the Rock Your Disney side, you should see what's going on with that.
Okay, great.
You should monitor.
I'll take care of that.
You should be the intern monitoring it for us.
Okay. Oh, boy.
You had to say something, right?
Yeah.
But, should be interesting. So, all right, thank you, Craig. Julie.
Okay. I have 2. One that I sent to you guys and one that's hot off the press from Corey.
Okay.
So on 5/20, that's today.
Today. That would be today.
Sorry, I'm not always sure about the day. Tinkerbell's moving from her magical nook, and she's going to be going over to the Town Square Theater. So you'll have to meet Tinkerbell there, but her friends won't be there with her, like they were
Just
in
Tink.
Adventureland. Okay, this stinks. All right.
Okay. Wow.
Fast Pass Plus is available, and Mickey Mouse is still greeting guests there as well. Do not think that Tinkerbell has, kicked Mickey out. He will still be there.
All right.
My Corey news is from Richard Petty. So, Petty Holdings and Pixar Animation Studios are bringing to life 2 characters from the Academy Award nominated 2006 animated feature Cars. Aiken Axler and Sage Vanderspin are coming to the Walt Disney World Resort. I did not know who these characters were. I had to Google them. So if you have to do that, I understand. Let's see. He highlighted stuff. This is like a 2-page freaking letter, people.
So is this going to be like the thing when they added him to Lights, Motors, Action, Lightning
Nope,
McQueen? He's
not
like
at all.
ka-chow and then goes 5
let
miles
me
per
finish.
hour.
So, they're going to start June 14th, which is not too far away. So for $59, the junior ride-along program will give a child age 6 to 13 that has to be at least 48 inches tall the chance to experience a real-life racing event as they ride shotgun with a professional driver for 3 thrilling laps in a specially equipped Piston Cup race car. They are painted to look exactly like the cars.
Are there people inside the cars in the movie?
No.
That seems
that
a little weird to me.
Like you're on their insides.
They're being violated.
There's no people inside them. How are you
Well,
supposed to...
these are cars made to
gonna be
look
okay
like these
shot, I
characters. They are
promise.
not the actual characters. We are not harming Aiken Axler or Sage Vanderspin.
Okay.
You know she has little kids.
How are they going to see out of the front window?
I don't know,
if
there's
it's got
eyeballs.
Car eyes on it.
Well,
Guys.
Julie, explain it, please.
Julie is the expert on Richard Petty, so.
Okay, there's a window wrap apparently on the car. It's going to make it possible to see the character eyes from the exterior, which will bring them to life, but will not interfere with the view of the track. Once you're inside the car, the track can be clearly seen, so they can enjoy the whole experience of racing, and the eyes will be where they not in the way.
I'm not buying it.
I don't believe it. Yeah.
Okay, well, you guys go and check it out, but you're too old.
They can. I was going to say they're not within the age
She
bracket.
she already knows more about this than she wants to. Okay? So, all right, well, thank you for that, Julie. JeniLynn for her first rapid fire.
Yes, I have some news about the Animal Kingdom, my favorite park. Some of you might have already heard it by this point, but Winged Encounters, The Kingdom Takes Flight, is coming to the Animal Kingdom. And what that is it's going to be a show featuring 6 different varieties of macaws that fly over Discovery Island multiple times during the day. And then another part of that event is they will have experts placed in certain locations giving conservation stories about these birds because some of them are endangered in their native countries. So I'm kind of excited about that. That's joining the whole bird cause at Animal Kingdom because they have the Wonders of Flight show. This is not a show in the sense of you're sitting in a theater. This is just something that's going to happen while you are walking in the park, which I think is actually kind of cool. It adds to the experience of Animal Kingdom being a living, breathing type of park as opposed to the artificial animatronic feel of all the other parks, which I really like. And that's being added to the lineup of new things coming to that park this summer. This is debuting sometime this summer. We don't know exactly when, but we've also got, the Festival of the Lion King is returning, and then they've got that new separate ticketed event that's going to be coming, the Lion King Concert in the Wild Party, that, is just going to really hurt everyone's wallet to go to that. And then Harambe Nights Street Party. So this is one more thing for Animal Kingdom. It seems like Animal Kingdom's getting a really big push. I'm excited about it. Yay for macaws.
All right. Well, thank you, JeniLynn. That'll do it for Rapid Fire. And before we wrap up, something's up with my mic, I think.
Okay.
I don't know. It just keeps sounding weird, but okay.
We'll check it.
Before we wrap up this episode, we have our poll for next week. Since we were talking about Disney Cruise Line, we actually have a 2-part poll this week. We have 2 questions for you. Number 1, have you ever done a Disney Cruise Line vacation? And number 2, do you think Disney Cruise Line is worth the money? Head out to facebook.com/DisUnplugged a little later on today, and that poll will be live, and tell us what you think. And as we do every week, we will select one person at random from everyone who answers our poll question, and that person will win a $50 Disney gift card. So go do that later, because it's not up yet, but it will be up later. Facebook.com/DisUnplugged. Okay, that is going to do it for this show. For those of you watching live, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about Star Wars Weekends coming up next. And for everybody else, we will see you again next time with another edition of the Dis Unplugged. Thanks for being with us, and remember, everyone, stay out of the damn lakes.